The princess can only be awoken from her slumber by her true love, but countless princes have failed to do so. When a poor townsman is successful, the royals try to dispose of the man and convince the princess that one of the princes is her true love. "I am so sorry, my child," Rosa rasped. Rosa lay in her bed with tears in her eyes. She had been bedridden for the past month and knew she was not long for this world. But she couldn't leave yet, not until she made things right. She reached her wrinkled hand out to the woman sitting at her bedside. Sunlight beamed through the window, highlighting the dust particles dancing through the air as Arabelle took Rosa's hand. Princess Arabelle was breathtaking, even now. She had barely left Rosa's bedside for the past month, and her messy blonde hair only seemed to accentuate her sapphire eyes. Rosa wondered if she was secretly an angel sent from the heavens as she smiled. "What could you possibly have to apologize to me for?" Arabelle asked. "I have done terrible things. Your father made me do terrible things. I'm so sorry." Rosa's grip on Arabelle's hand grew tighter as a tear fell from her eye. She knew this would be the last moments that Arabelle would look at her fondly, and she wanted to soak it in. But she loved Arabelle and needed to tell her the truth. "5 years ago, when you woke up from your coma, we didn't tell you the whole story." Rosa spoke slowly, and Arabelle hung on to every word. "When you were cursed, the witch said you would only awake at true love's first touch. For years, princes and kings from all over the world came to try to wake you, and none succeeded. A curse? You said I was in an accident." Arabelle's smile faded. Rosa ignored the interruption and continued. "After some time we gave up. We figured that was the witch's true curse, that you had no true love and would never wake up. For years I sat by your bed and washed you. I brushed your hair. I read to you. I started as your nurse, but I began to feel like your mother, and I couldn't bear to see you like that anymore. So I told your father that I was quitting." Rosa stopped to take a deep breath as another tear ran down her face. "He accepted, but asked that I spend some time finding and training a replacement. I went into town the next day to find someone to care for you and had no luck. But just as I gave up, I caught sight of the butcher's daughter. She was hard at work sweeping the front steps of her father's shop when she saw me, and asked if I needed any help." Arabelle silently wondered if this story was going anywhere, or if it was just the senile ramblings of a dying old woman, but she continued to listen attentively. "She was kind. I could see it in her eyes. I could hear it in her voice. I knew she would take care of you. The next day, we paid her father a hefty sum and moved her into the castle. She was apprehensive at first, but once she walked through the castle doors, that apprehension turned to excitement. And when she first saw you, like so many others, she fell in love with you. Why did I never meet her?" "She sounds lovely," Arabelle asked. Rosa avoided the question as Arabelle noted the sadness in her eyes. "She shadowed me for a week to learn how to care for you. One day I asked her to help me reposition you so that we could wash your back. And the moment she touched you, your eyes fluttered and you began to wake up. I ran to get your father. To this day, I wish I hadn't." Wait, so this butcher's daughter was supposed to be my true love. Arabelle hadn't wanted to admit it to herself, but she knew deep down that she preferred women to men. But how would Rosa know that? She had never so much as hinted at it. Arabelle leaned in and listened as Rosa answered. "Yes, she was, but your father wouldn't have it. He refused to see you with a commoner, especially one who couldn't help you produce an heir." Rosa closed her eyes as more tears streamed down her face. Arabelle felt uneasy. So what did he do to her? Rosa whimpered and opened her eyes to meet Arabelle. "I'm so sorry. Your father. He threatened me. He said he would destroy my family's lives if word ever got out." "What did you do?" "He locked her in the dungeon. He told me I could no longer retire and that I had to help you recover. Your father and I were the only two people who knew what happened, and he swore me to secrecy." Arabelle released her grip on Rosa's hand. "Is she still down there?" "No, she passed away after a year." Rosa broke down into a full sob, her voice trembling. "Please forgive me. If I could undo it, I would." Arabelle stood up and backed away from the dying old woman. Her face had turned to disgust, then rage. As Arabelle began yelling at her old nurse, Rosa's hearing began to fade. With the weight of this off her chest, she could finally feel herself moving on. She looked up at Arabelle one last time. The princess was no longer looking at her. She was looking at the letter opener on Rosa's nightstand. Rosa wanted desperately for Arabelle to look at her one last time. But as Rosa's vision faded to black, she was granted no such satisfaction. Instead, she watched as the princess grabbed the blade, stormed out the door, and turned down the hall towards her father's room. Then Rosa was gone.